In ancient times, people protected sacred and occult knowledge. This knowledge was not shared openly because there was a risk of persecution. Therefore, they used stories, parables, and sacred texts to hide these deep truths. These texts, like the Bible, for example, should not be read only literally. There are layers of meaning that are only revealed to those with keener perception. These ancient traditions believed that knowledge was not for everyone, but for those who were willing to seek and understand beyond words. They believed that truth could not be delivered simply, but needed to be discovered through study and introspection. This quest for knowledge was seen as a spiritual path, where each discovery led to a deeper understanding of the universe and oneself. These occult teachings were passed down from generation to generation, often through secret societies or small study groups. This is because knowledge, when misused, can be dangerous. The people who held these truths knew this and therefore kept them protected, revealing them only to those who were ready. Welcome to the Eye of the Soul channel. Today, with access to so much information, it may seem that this knowledge is within everyone's reach, but the truth is that it still takes effort and dedication to fully understand what these texts and teachings are trying to show us. Occult knowledge is not something that remained in the past and continues to be relevant today. The quest to understand the truths hidden within ourselves is an ongoing and vital path to spiritual growth. As we deepen our understanding, we begin to see the world and our own lives with new eyes, realizing the depth and complexity that was previously hidden. So what we can take from this is that knowledge is available, but it will only reveal itself to those who truly seek it. And this search is the key to unlocking the full potential that resides within us. A clear example of this is the phrase, "Christ is in you." For many, this may seem like just a religious expression, but when you dig deeper, you realize that it reveals something much bigger. The idea that the temple of God is not a physical place, but is within each of us, completely changes the way we understand spirituality and the connection with the divine. Deep down, these traditions wanted to teach that true spiritual power is not outside, but within each of us. This is a powerful message because it holds us accountable for our own spiritual journey. There is no need to look outside for what is already present within us. This leads us to understand that we are capable of achieving greater understanding and a deeper connection with the divine through self-knowledge. This truth teaches us that we have the potential to access infinite wisdom and deep peace, which can transform our lives. By realizing that Christ is within us, we gain confidence that we are capable of overcoming any challenge, not by our limited strengths, but by the divine presence that dwells within us. Understanding that the temple of God is within us also makes us responsible for taking care of that temple. This entails living in a way that honors this divine presence, cultivating thoughts, words, and actions that reflect love, compassion, and truth. Spirituality becomes a daily practice, not just a belief. Recognizing Christ within us requires practice and dedication. Through the study of sacred texts, we can deepen this awareness. This inner journey brings a transformation that manifests in all aspects of our lives, creating a deeper sense of purpose. This divine presence is not exclusive to a specific group, but a universal truth. We are all bearers of this divine light, which unites us and inspires us to treat others with respect and love. This reinforces the idea that spirituality is inclusive and accessible to everyone. Living with the consciousness of Christ within us is the first step to a fulfilling life. This truth guides us, transforms us, and brings a sense of fulfillment that cannot be found in external searches. It offers a new perspective on the world and ourselves, full of hope and possibilities. The pineal gland has been associated with Christ consciousness, a heightened form of consciousness that is present within each of us. Inside the brain, there is a secretion known as cerebrospinal fluid, which in ancient times was called Christos. This fluid runs down the spine, connecting to the sacral plexus, and is considered essential for the activation of higher consciousness. The path this fluid takes through the body is a central part of spiritual awakening, where the pineal gland is believed to play a key role. As the fluid descends, it passes through several stages before rising again, symbolizing the elevation of consciousness. The activation of the pineal gland is seen as the awakening of Christ consciousness. This activation occurs when the spiritual fluid, after descending, begins its ascent back to the brain, where its vibration is amplified. This ascension is compared to a spiritual journey, where individual consciousness rises to unite with the divine. The role of the glands pineal and pituitary in this process is vital. These two glands, symbolizing masculine and feminine energies, work together to differentiate the fluid before it begins its descent down the spinal column. This process creates harmony within the body, necessary for spiritual ascension and the activation of higher consciousness. When the pineal gland is activated, it becomes a center of enlightenment, awakening the higher consciousness that was dormant. This awakening is seen as a profound internal transformation, where the individual begins to experience life from a higher perspective, connecting more deeply with the universe and the divine. The practice of preserving and elevating this spiritual fluid is essential for activating the pineal gland. This care helps ensure that the fluid can move up the spine and reach the pineal gland, where the activation of Christ consciousness occurs. This process is a path to physical and mental regeneration. Activation of the pineal gland leads to a renewal of the mind and body, resulting in greater clarity, intuition, and connection with the divine. It is an essential step for those seeking a complete spiritual transformation. The pineal gland, when activated, illuminates the entire system, bringing new light to the individual's consciousness. This process is what many call spiritual awakening, where the person begins to live according to their true divine essence, connected to the universe and in harmony with all things. The journey of spiritual fluid through the human body carries a deep symbolic meaning, representing the descent of consciousness from the spiritual plane to the physical plane. This process is a metaphor for the way our own consciousness manifests in the material world, starting in a heightened state and gradually descending to experience life in its physical form. This path is also a representation of the legend of Santa Claus, where the fluid runs down the spinal column to the sacral plexus, symbolizing the journey of the divine gift or consciousness that descends to the lowest levels of being. Just as Santa Claus descends the chimney to bring gifts, this fluid descends the body to deliver the gift of Christ consciousness. When the fluid reaches the sacral plexus, it waits for the divine seed to germinate. The ascension of the fluid back into the brain is symbolic of the elevation of consciousness, where the energy that descended now returns to a higher state. This ascension process is a reflection of the spiritual journey that we can all undertake, where we seek to elevate our own consciousness to reconnect with the divine. Ueda and Pingala nerves, which conduct the fluid, are representations of the masculine and feminine energies within us. These energies need to be in balance for spiritual ascension to occur harmoniously. The balance of these energies is essential so that Christ consciousness can flourish within us. When the fluid reaches the top of the spine, it symbolizes the crucifixion of Christ, where physical consciousness dies to give way to spiritual consciousness. This moment of death is, in fact, a transformation, where consciousness is reborn in a higher and more enlightened form. Crucifixion is a symbol of transition to a new spiritual life. From this point, Christ consciousness begins to fully manifest, bringing new clarity, enlightenment, and understanding to life. This process of internal transformation reflects the story of Christ's birth, death, and resurrection, not as a historical event, but as a journey that takes place within each of us. The germination of the divine seed within us is a symbolic and spiritual process that occurs once a month, according to the position of the moon in the zodiac. This seed is created in the solar plexus, just above the sacral plexus, and represents the beginning of a new spiritual life within us. The germinated seed must then be elevated back to the brain, where it will complete its journey of ascension. This process of elevation is a reflection of our own spiritual journey, where we seek to raise our consciousness and reconnect with the divine. Each month, when the moon is aligned with the sun sign at our birth, this opportunity for upliftment presents itself, offering us the chance to become more aware and connected. Raising this seed is a delicate process that requires attention and care. In order for the seed to travel up the spinal column, it is necessary to maintain a balanced lifestyle, avoiding practices that can drain our vital energy. This includes avoiding ejaculation, maintaining a healthy diet, practicing meditation, and maintaining positive thoughts. These practices help preserve and elevate the energy necessary for the seed to complete its ascension journey. As the seed moves up the spinal column, its vibration increases and it becomes more and more powerful. This increase in vibration is essential so that the seed can reach the pineal gland, where the Christ consciousness will finally be activated. During this ascension, the seed passes through the different chakras, or energy centers, each contributing to the increase in your vibration and spiritual power. The process of seed elevation is compared to spiritual ascension, where the individual transcends the desires and limitations of the physical world to reach a higher state of consciousness. As the seed ascends, the individual begins to experience an internal transformation, where the Christ consciousness becomes more present and active in their daily life. This journey of elevation culminates when the seed reaches the pineal gland, where the final activation of Christ consciousness occurs. This moment is often described as an enlightenment, where the individual experiences profound clarity and understanding, perceiving life from a completely new perspective. Seed elevation is an essential step towards spiritual awakening. The importance of this process is that it does not happen automatically. It requires effort and dedication. Spiritual growth is an active journey where each step is important and contributes to our development as spiritual beings. The germination and elevation of the Christ seed is a powerful metaphor for the work we need to do to become more conscious and connected with the divine. The glands, pineal and pituitary. They play a vital role in the process of activating Christ consciousness within us. These two glands, located in the brain, are responsible for secreting substances that have a direct impact on our spirituality and the elevation of our consciousness. The pineal, known as the third eye, is especially associated with spiritual perception and enlightenment. The pineal gland produces a yellowish, honey-like fluid that contains DMT, dimethyltryptamine, a substance that can induce altered states of consciousness and profound spiritual experiences. This fluid is often referred to as the oil of Christ and is considered essential for the activation of Christ consciousness. When the pineal is activated, it allows the individual to experience a direct connection with the divine, opening doors to a deeper understanding of the universe and self. On the other hand, the pituitary gland secretes a white fluid, similar to milk, which is associated with feminine energies and the nurturing aspect of spirituality. While the pineal is more related to perception and enlightenment, the pituitary, it is linked to intuition and the ability to manifest this spiritual awareness in the physical world. These two glands work in harmony to differentiate and refine the spiritual fluid that descends through the body, preparing it for its ascension back to the brain. This refinement process is essential to ensure the fluid is at the correct vibration to activate Christ consciousness when it returns to the pineal gland. Without this balance and refinement, spiritual energy may not be able to rise and reach its full potential. The activation of these glands does not occur automatically. It requires practice and attention. It is important to avoid habits that can destabilize these energies, such as excessive stress and exposure to toxins. Taking care of these glands means taking care of our own spirituality and well-being. When the gland pineal is finally activated, a profound transformation occurs. Christ consciousness awakens within us, illuminating our mind and allowing us to see life from a heightened perspective. This activation not only expands our consciousness, but also helps us manifest that consciousness in the world, living in accordance with our spiritual values and contributing to the greater good. The gland pituitary, when working together with the pineal, helps us integrate these spiritual experiences into our daily lives. It gives us the intuition and wisdom necessary to apply what we learn on our spiritual journey, becoming more complete and fulfilled beings. This balance between the two glands is essential for a full and meaningful spiritual life. One of the main aspects of preserving vital energy is controlling ejaculation. In many spiritual traditions, sexual energy is seen as a powerful force that can be transformed and used for spiritual growth. Frequent ejaculation is considered a practice that dissipates this vital energy, preventing its rise through the body. By controlling and redirecting this energy, it is possible to preserve it for spiritual purposes, allowing it to contribute to the activation of Christ consciousness. Furthermore, it is important to cultivate a calm and positive mind. Negative emotions such as anger, envy, and fear can drain our vital energy, making the process of spiritual elevation difficult. Maintaining a balanced mental attitude and practicing forgiveness and compassion are effective ways to preserve this energy. The mind and body are interconnected, and taking care of our emotional health is just as important as taking care of our physical body. Another important aspect of energy preservation vital is the practice of meditation. Regular meditation helps center the mind, calm thoughts, and connect with internal energy. During meditation, it is possible to direct vital energy to higher centers of consciousness, promoting spiritual elevation. This practice not only preserves energy, but also intensifies it, preparing the body and mind for spiritual awakening. Conscious breathing, it also plays an important role in preserving vital energy. Deep, controlled breathing techniques help balance energy in the body, allowing it to flow freely and rise along the spine. Proper breathing is powerful in channeling vital energy and directing it to the pineal gland, where Christ consciousness can be activated. Spiritual transformation is a profound and ongoing process that occurs as we raise our consciousness and activate the Christ consciousness within us. This process begins with recognizing that there is something greater within us, something that transcends our physical existence and connects us to the divine. From this recognition, a journey of self-knowledge begins, where we seek to understand and cultivate this internal connection. This transformation is mental, emotional, and also physical. As the sacred oil ascends the spine, it triggers a series of changes in the body and mind. These changes include the awakening of intuitive abilities, greater mental clarity, and a sense of inner peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. One of the most significant aspects of this transformation is the death of the ego. The ego, which represents our limited and separate identity, must be transcended so that we can experience true union with the divine. This process can be challenging as it involves letting go of old beliefs, behavior patterns, and ways of seeing the world. However, it is an essential step towards achieving true peace and enlightenment. As the Christ consciousness awakens within us, we begin to see the world and ourselves from a new perspective. We realize that we are part of something much bigger, and that our lives have a deep purpose that goes beyond survival or material success. This new understanding leads us to live in accordance with spiritual values such as love, compassion, and truth. Spiritual transformation also involves a purification process. We need to purify our thoughts, emotions, and actions so that we can align with our true divine nature. This may include letting go of negative emotions and adopting healthy habits that support our spiritual journey. This journey of transformation is not something that happens all at once, but rather an ongoing process that lasts a lifetime. Every experience, challenge, and victory along the way contributes to our spiritual growth. As we continue to transform, we become increasingly aligned with our true essence, living a life of meaning and purpose. Practice and consistency are key to success on any spiritual journey, especially when it comes to raising consciousness and activating the Christ consciousness within us. This process does not occur automatically. It requires dedication and an ongoing commitment to practices that sustain and strengthen our vital energy. It is through daily practice that we build the necessary foundation for spiritual transformation. It's important to remember that practice and consistency are not just about doing the right things, but about doing them continually and with intention. Every small action, when done consistently, contributes to your spiritual growth. Over time, these practices become part of who you are, creating a solid foundation for your spiritual journey and allowing Christ consciousness to flourish within you.